Hello, and welcome to Black Angus Reviews. This next topic may seem a bit odd to you given that Star Wars is my usual focus. I came across a new video by No Bullshit, a perpetual trigger for leftists that covered this garbage tier article. Perfect timing too, as I was recently sworn by SJW's hashtag literally shaking at my comments that there is objective beauty standards and that comics should maintain the visual standard of the idealized and prototypical man and woman. Sure, you can use science when it supports that orientation is overwhelmingly not a choice, but God forbid you cite that we, intelligent primates, seek physical attractions to reproduce. It also reminds me of a horrible children's book called The Rainbow Fish. If you're unfamiliar, it's a book I loved as a kid as its art is simple and pops with the shiny fish scales. My mom got me another copy to read to my kids, and I was horrified to discover its communist ideal of redistributing beauty to suit the community. If you don't believe me, just listen and follow along. The Rainbow Fish by Mark Pfister. A long way out in the deep blue sea, there lived a fish. Not just an ordinary fish, but the most beautiful fish in the entire ocean. His scales were every shade of blue and green and purple, with sparkling silver scales among them. The other fish were amazed at his beauty. They called him Rainbow Fish. "Come on, Rainbow Fish," they would call. "Come and play with us." But the Rainbow Fish would just glide past, proud and silent, letting his scales shimmer. One day, a little blue fish followed after him. "Rainbow Fish," he called, "wait for me. Please give me one of your shiny scales. They are so wonderful, and you have so many." "You want me to give you one of my special scales? Who do you think you are?" cried the Rainbow Fish. "Get away from me." Shocked, the little blue fish swam away. He was so upset, he told all his friends what had happened. From then on, no one would have anything to do with the Rainbow Fish. They turned away when he swam by. What good were the dazzling, shimmering scales with no one to admire them? Now he was the loneliest fish in the entire ocean. One day, he poured out his troubles to the starfish. "I really am beautiful. Why doesn't anyone like me?" "I can't answer that for you," said the starfish, "but if you go beyond the coral reef to a deep cave, you will find the wise octopus. Maybe she can help you." The Rainbow Fish found the cave. It was very dark inside, and he couldn't see anything. Then suddenly, two eyes caught him in their glare, and the octopus emerged from the darkness. "I have been waiting for you," said the octopus with a deep voice. "The waves have told me your story. This is my advice. Give a glittering scale to each of the other fish. You will no longer be the most beautiful fish in the sea, but you will discover how to be happy." "I can't," the Rainbow Fish started to say, but the octopus had already disappeared into a dark cloud of ink. "Give away my scales, my beautiful shining scales? Never! How could I ever be happy without them?" Suddenly, he felt the light touch of a fin. The little blue fish was back. "Rainbow Fish, please don't be angry. I just want one little scale." The Rainbow Fish wavered. Only one very, very small shimmery scale, he thought. Well, maybe I wouldn't miss just one. Carefully, the Rainbow Fish pulled out the smallest scale and gave it to the little fish. Thank you very much," the little blue fish bubbled playfully as he tucked the shiny scale in among his blue ones. A rather peculiar feeling came over the Rainbow Fish. For a long time, he watched the little blue fish swim back and forth with his new scale glittering in the water. The little blue fish whizzed through the ocean with his scale flashing, so it didn't take long before the Rainbow Fish was surrounded by the other fish. Everyone wanted a glittering scale. The Rainbow Fish shared his scales left and right, and the more he gave away, the more delighted he became. When the water around him filled with glimmering scales, he at last felt at home among the other fish. Finally, the Rainbow Fish had only one shining scale left. His most prized possessions had been given away, yet he was very happy. "Come on, Rainbow Fish," they called. "Come and play with us." "Here I come," said the Rainbow Fish, and happy as a splash, he swam off to join his friends. Now that we're done with the reading of the Rainbow Fish, let's continue the analysis. Hazel Sills of Jezebel, a girl who, from what I can see, doesn't look bad, pinned an article demonizing Victoria's Secret for not wanting plus-sized and trans models in their runway shows. For some reference, I looked into just what exactly is plus size and learned it's a fairly broad spectrum, unlike gender. For men, it's generally anything over a 40-inch waist and 3X in shirts, essentially big and tall. For women, according to Plus Model magazine, its size is 10 to 14, and supersized sizes are larger. To put it more simply, plus size correlates to larger than the average person. But in doing my research, there was a problem with the term average, that being, what is the average versus what should be the average. According to 2017 CDC statistics, 40% of adults 20 years and above are obese, that being 31% or more body fat composition. To add to this, the average male waist size is 40 inches, and females 38. When looking at the healthy range for body fat, I found it for men to be from 5% to about 25%, and 8% to 30% in women, according to humankinetics.com. According to Dr. Pamela Peake, from the 50s to 2010, the average woman's waist was about 25 inches to 35 in 2010, weight rising from 120 pounds to 150 in 2010. I think everyone can attest to a growing and already well-established complacency in the West to a more obese population. It's now becoming an epidemic in our youth. Getting back to the article, Ms. Sills tries to correlate the 2016 1% decline in Victoria's Secret sales and the 12% decline in stock value to a want for comfort over 80s era sexy leather and lace. When a quick look at the article notes a problem was an extended sell period on excess stock. Period. She then goes on to complain when Mr. Razik, Chief Marketing Officer, pokes fun at Rihanna for copying the use of pregnant models, saying it doesn't compare as Victoria's Secret models' pregnancies were barely visible and they appeared fit. Look at the pictures and see why she's really complaining. Sills then notes how L Brands has considered using plus-size models, but relegates that to the sister company, Lane Bryant, much to the ire of Sills. It's here that you really begin to see the false controversy that's at hand in this article. L Brands owns Lane Bryant, a store that specializes in plus-size clothing. We've recently had the change Miss Sills is advocating for in major publications. Sports Illustrated had plus-size models to include Ashley Graham, also the most recognizable plus-size model, and with the newness of this category, that recognition is near exclusive. Tess Holliday has been on the cover of Cosmopolitan, and Playboy has even had a trans model, Inez Rao, as a playmate, this being in a gentleman's magazine started in the prime patriarchal era of 1953. But that's not enough for NPCs. Apparently it's bad to have any venue that enjoys the form of classically beautiful, thin, fit women. Blue hairs need to storm the gates of a brand who specifically markets itself to a certain type of woman. In this case, again, fit women. They won't be satisfied until women who've worked for their hard-to-attain figure are shoved out for the average, mediocre, or just plain unattractive. I guess it's due to SJWs always needing to see themselves in everything. I hope most people see it's just a ploy for them to lower the beauty standard in order to raise their own self-esteem, instead of working for it. Just think if men complained about Calvin Klein models and the need to showcase diverse bodies as their representatives. Ladies, do you want to see Emma Stone dance with Ryan Gosling? Or Kevin James? Would you like to see Josh Gad as Batman struggling to catch his breath after hauling himself up a skyscraper? Or Ben Affleck in Christian Bale? How about we recast Seth Rogen as Thor? If we've learned anything, it's that SJWs want everything given to them with no effort. Classic equality of outcome instead of opportunity. When incels were a new thing to talk about, the Huffington Post seemed to be advocating for them as some kind of victim class, as no one would sleep with them, a clear problem thanks to the so-called toxic masculinity, which really boiled down to their inability to compete due to sexual standards of their targets, met by better suitors. Instead of SJWs overcoming lack of attractive qualities that aid in securing mates, either with exercise, or financial success, or charm and charisma, they expect the most successful to abdicate their attractiveness for the rest of the less attractive or less successful populace. What do you guys think? Do you see the correlation with Comicsgate? specifically with the SJW aversion to attractive characters? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to like and subscribe, as well as checking out the Friends of Black Angus below in the description. Have a good night, and enjoy the music.